Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. This is Marilyn Gale. Listen, guys, I'm going to get right into this article, and I want to tell you, first of all, that this article, I'm going to give my take on everything afterwards, but this article was written by a Miss Peyser or Pacer, Peyser, and I'm going to put the link in the description area so you can read it at your leisure. But let me get into this. This is very interesting, very interesting. And it was the article was written on the 10th. So, getting everything together and putting out other things. I just found it necessary information, need to know information. Okay, now I'm going to start off with the article, which says, Kobe-Bryant, star athlete, adored husband, beloved super dad, was no rapist. That should be the end of it. Nothing to see here. But sadly, in this #MeToo era, it isn't. So many people who don't know what they're talking about have been mulling lately about the tarnished legacy of the NBA superstar who died tragically in a helicopter crash along with his 13-year-old daughter Gianna and 7 other people on January 26. Leading the pack was CBS broadcaster Gayle King, who pointedly asked former women's basketball player Lisa Leslie in an interview if being loyal to Bryant is complicated for you as a woman, as a WNBA player. Leslie told King forcefully that it was not. Leslie says, I just never had ever been him. I've never ever seen him being the kind of person that would do something to violate a woman or be aggressive in that manner, says Leslie. But King pressed on, suggesting that Leslie may have overlooked questionable behavior because she was Bryant's friend. She should have let it go. Instead, King and others in the media continuously harping on a long ago sexual assault allegation against Bryant, which led to no prosecution, no professional penalty, and no divorce. I attended the case's 2003 preliminary hearing in Eagles, Colorado. Now, the author of this article is saying she attended the case's 2003 preliminary hearing in Eagles, Colorado, a kind of mini trial to determine if there is to be a real one. She says she traveled to the altitude sickness inducing town 6,000 feet above sea level, expecting to see Bryant presented in a spoiled testosterone case who didn't understand the meaning of no. What she found was quite different. It makes little sense to relitigate this ugly chapter, but circumstances are making this necessary. At the time she encountered Bryant in the hotel in which she worked on June 30th, 2003, the accuser was 19. Bryant was all of 24 and the married father of an infant. Soon we learned more details about the pair's sexual liaison than we wanted to know. This is still the author of the article, Recollections. The divorce brought up the fact that the accuser had told a friend, listen to this, guys, excitedly before getting close to Bryant that she expected the celebrity to put the moves on her. She secretly entered Bryant's hotel room through a back door so no one would see. None of this precludes the possibility of sexual assault. However, among the intimate details to emerge in the preliminary hearing was this. Once the pair were having sex over the back of a chair, the victim felt pain and asked Bryant to stop, and he did. I don't know what happened to make the young woman suddenly feel like a victim, or why, after the case was prepared, she abruptly ended her cooperation with the prosecution. The criminal case against Kobe was dropped. He then publicly apologized to the accuser, not for the rape, but for a misunderstanding. He concluded with, although I truly believe this encounter was consensual, I recognize now that she did not and does not view this incident the same way I did. I now understand she feels that she did not consent to this encounter. No, Kobe, I disagreed with you over this. She set you up because she wanted a payback. And guys, don't believe or even ponder in your mind that I feel some kind of way about men. Okay, this lady said he did this or that I have, how do I want to put this? I call women, that I would call a woman a liar. No. In many of my videos, I will let you know that I stand behind women who have been sexually assaulted, abused, physically, sexually, mentally. I stand behind women. But some women, especially when it comes to people with money, don't you believe that they're not capable of a setup. And to me, this was a setup. Now, I'll go on. This is, again, the author of the article. I think the Hoop star's apologize amounted to a classy way to end this mess. That and the undisclosed sum he paid the woman to prevent a civil suit. And let me just assume, and usually I don't, but I can, since he had legal counsel, I would almost guarantee you that the legal counsel told Kobe, do this, do that, because we don't want this coming up in the future. Well, let's nip this in the bud. Okay, back to the article. As I see it, this matter was between Bryant and his wife, and she forgave him, reportedly, after he presented her with a large diamond. They remained married and had 3 more daughters, including basketball-loving Gianna, Gigi, who died with her dad. I would hope we could put this sordid chapter behind us and remember Kobe Bryant as the good, loyal man he was. Let the dead rest in peace. Now, okay, guys, that's the end of the article. And like I said, I will put this in the description area for you to read. Okay. So I know everybody heard about Gayle King in the interview she had with Lisa Leslie. She had the nerve to reach back in time and mention this incident with Kobe from 2003. He's dead now. So what's the point? She deliberately kept digging after her question was answered about Kobe. Now, Snoop-Dogg heard about the interview and blasted Gayle and told her she was out of pocket. He called her out. He called her out of her name a few times. You can tell this was not planned. However, Gayle questions was premeditated, in my opinion. And my opinion also is Snoop talked out of anger because his brother Kobe could not defend himself. I think that's what made him mad. And the fact that Vanessa and the kids are without a sister and a father, I think that's made him mad. Now, you know, she had all these questions planned. She had time to consider that this would hurt Kobe's entire family, especially his wife and oldest daughters. Then, Oprah chimes in and says Gayle is not doing well and that she has had death threats. Now, I don't condone death threats to anyone. However, as far as Gayle not doing well, did she consider that Kobe's family is doing far from well? Vanessa has to bury two family members, her husband and her 13-year-old daughter. And let me just remind you, her 13-year-old daughter had not even begun to live. Vanessa is sad and she's angry, which I imagine is part of the grieving process, especially when someone is all the people on the plane is snatched out of their potential and what they had to do in the future was snatched out of their reality. Now, what Gayle has experienced pales in comparison to what Vanessa is going through. A lot of people know what it is to bury one family member, but to bury two at once, I know it happens. However, those who will tell you it's horrific to go through that kind of pain. Now, Gayle goes on to say she was taken out of context. Well, Gayle, maybe you took what Snoop-Dog said out of context. Now, if Snoop said he would dog walk you, then if I was you, I would worry. Coming after somebody that means if he wanted to dog walk you, that means he's coming to do you physical harm. Or could it mean that he's going to drag you on social media? He's going to ask for a boycott against you, but not necessarily physical. Now, let me be fair. If Snoop meant it as a threat, he's out of pocket. Now, I don't think personally that he meant that as a threat. Now, y'all all know, this is getting a little bit off, but y'all know that Snoop Dogg be smoking. He will admit that he be smoking weed all the time, and he just a mellow kind of, smoking weed makes you mellow. Now, I'm not speaking from experience. I'm just, of me, I'm just speaking experience of what I see, the actions of other people. It make you mellow. You don't want to fight. So for Snoop to be as angry as he was, that's because Gayle was out of pocket. She reached into something actually to invoke people to think bad of Kobe. And like it was mentioned previously, if Vanessa forgave him, and it was obvious that she did, and the charges was dismissed or dropped, and since Kobe cannot defend himself, then it should have been dropped. It shouldn't have never been brought up. But getting back to Snoop, however, Snoop is street. And I doubt if he would broadcast any intentions to harm Gayle openly. If Snoop meant harm to Gayle, he wouldn't have never mentioned that she was out of pocket and mentioned the fact that she better cool it, or paraphrasing, they would be after her. That's paraphrasing. So Kobe was a friend with Snoop. Kobe and Snoop were friends, like many others. Then, like Oprah is a friend to Gayle, Gayle would be very hurt if something happened to her friend. Someone brought up something that her friend did from the past, but she brought up Kobe. Gayle or Oprah would have been they would have been ecstatic if it was the reverse. But Gayle knew what she was doing. She knew exactly what she was doing. She was looking for another moment, an R. Kelly moment that caused her interview to go viral. And she appeared to me to be after those views, and it backfired. She got a moment, but not the moment she expected. I think that Gayle and her friend appear to be concerned with ratings only. No regard for others grieving. Only a coward would intentionally hurt a grieving family. Let me say that many are saying, which I totally agree, go after Harvey Weinstein. He's still alive. Oh, my bad. Oprah stated that if we go after Harvey Weinstein, then we will lose this watershed moment. Oh, I'm sorry, Gayle. You and Oprah thought both of you was going to get a moment. Not so much Oprah in this, but Oprah liked moments too. She liked moments when she went after Michael Jackson, which is deceased and can't defend himself. And she went after Russell Simmons. So both of you guys, you like moments. Now, I would not have mentioned Oprah at all because Gayle said what she said. However, Oprah chimed in. So to me, she put herself in it. I just wish Oprah would have considered, not Oprah, I meant to say Gayle. I wish that Gayle would have considered the Bryant's feelings before she spoke. That's all. This was not supposed to be about you. At this time, it was about the people that perished from the crash. Not your views and not for your ratings. Now, I heard some say that both of them should be boycotted. I don't know about that. I'm not going to boycott them. I want to see how they deal with Weinstein because Harvey Weinstein, his court is going to be, court session is going to be soon. So I want to see if they cover that. I want to see if they defend this rapist. So, no. I want to see that because I want to see if they go in for Weinstein, their friend. So like I said, many of you guys are calling for a boycott. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just watch and listen. And let me just tell you, like their friend has said, Maya Angelou, once someone show you who they are the first time, believe them. Believe them. Both Gayle and Oprah, and mostly Gayle at this particular time, is showing you who they are. They are showing all of us. Because the people they're going after, and then people who have done and would not have stopped if they were not caught, they're friends with. Is this the pattern? I think so. And let me remind you of another thing. I remember Oprah, and it's been some time ago, saying that her and Gayle talk about everything. You know, she talked about how good friends her and Gayle are and were. So that means if they talk about everything, you better believe they have had discussions about Kobe before that interview. I wouldn't doubt that before the interview, Gayle went over the questions that she was going to ask Lisa Leslie, which at that time, if I'm speculating correctly, Oprah had the chance to tell her then. I wouldn't do that, girl. You opening up a can of worms. And if she told her that and Gayle didn't listen, then what happened with Gayle saying what she said about Kobe, that's 100% on her. And I would think, and because of that, I said, well, at least she got a mind of her own. She did what she thought she wanted to do, which is like, I'll say for views and ratings. But I don't believe that, because I think that Gayle looks up to Oprah so much. If Oprah would have told her about the questions, but you know what? Birds of a feather flock together. Oprah didn't care about Michael Jackson's family, Michael Jackson's kids, Michael Jackson's mother and brothers. She didn't care how they felt, and they felt pretty strongly about what Oprah did. So both Gayle and Oprah, they're birds of a feather. I'm done, y'all. I just wanted to put that out there. And let me just say this, and I don't mean to be harsh, because I appreciate anybody who's willing to listen to how I see it. I don't know Gayle or Oprah personally, but I'm basing my feelings off of things that have come out of their mouth, the actions that they have taken, and maybe they will change their course now because of the backlash they're getting. Maybe Gayle won't be so quick to throw dead people under the bus. Maybe this is a lesson learned, but I don't know. Because they still haven't spoken about Weinstein. And Weinstein had many, many victims. Many victims. It's in him to do what he did, because he didn't just go once. Now, if that was Kobe's character, if that was really Kobe's character, that no does not mean no, it'd be others. You don't just wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to rape somebody. But that's going to be the only person I'm going to rape. I ain't going to rape nobody else after this. I'm going to just rape one person. I just got to get it out of my system. No, that's in you. You rape one person, there's people in the past that you have done dirty. Weinstein. Okay, I'm done. Everybody have a great rest of the week. And please continue to pray for all the families of the victims in that helicopter crash. Continue to pray for Vanessa and those children. Oh, can you guys imagine? how Vanessa feels. Forget about everything else. Most of my audience are women. So women, as a mother, and you lost your husband and your baby, that's unbearable. How's she getting through it? I don't even know if she's really getting through it. It's a mystery how she's holding up. And I only say that because of the tweets. She's still tweeting, so she's got enough strength, and that may take all the strength she has to put certain informations out of that. How, she mentioned when this private service would be, when the service would be later on this month, and how she feels about certain things, to even go on social media and let his fans and the people just wondering, and to think about people that loved her husband, to even, go on social media and say this is happening and this is happening. I'd be, most of us, I know, let me speak for myself. I'd be laying in bed all day crying. But she got enough strength and genuine concern about the many people that loved her husband and her daughter, just to give them a little bit more insight of what's going on at this particular time. You go, Vanessa. You got strength you don't know you have. Draw from that girl. Don't, I know it's hard, and it's hard for you, and it's easy, might be easy for me to say, use that strength, carry on, girlfriend, because you got kids now that you have to concern about, and everybody else that's attached closely to you as family members, whether they're in-laws or, what have you. Everybody looking at you for the strength. I know it's a hard cross to bear, but they looking at you, and be strong for your children. So everybody, like I said, I'm done with this right now, and I probably won't say anything else because I put out a video, a podcast that he and all the people on the helicopter had perished. And then I felt the need to bring this out. So I'm just going to, leave it alone right now. I just want to bring you this information and my take on it. So like I said, have a great rest of your week. Have a beautiful day. And I'll see you next time with another video. Thank you. Good night.